the recipe for losing the game. So surprisingly, I guess both on paper and with how the game developed, rox.KIS took that game 1, but boy, is that important for them right now.
If they lose this series, they're going to be... Well, is it they have to go 2-0 in every single match to have a chance? Is it Putti? Okay.
But a 2-0 against Alliance is going to be a really good start, because we need to remember they've already played against Alliance, against Na'Vi, who they lost to, so the remaining matches on paper are probably easier than this one, at least compared to the standings we've had during the tournament. So if rox.KIS pull out 2-0 in this, they're looking pretty good to get victories, and they don't need more than 1-2-0. I think 1-2-0 and might be enough depending on the rest of the matches, actually.
Keep in mind with rox.KIS, in that last game was a perfect example. You never know what you're going to get with them, ever. As I was going to say, Wisp Tiny combination is theirs, anybody can take it, and rox.KIS does it right off the bat after Nyx was picked up for Alliance. So, I'm going to be missing a lot of kills, Cinder. Are you excited for this?
Work. But I think... I'm surprised Alliance didn't first pick the IO. EGM plays an amazing IO, and like you said, there was the Tiny combination, and if they didn't get that, there would be other combinations too. It wasn't Tiny exclusive, there would also be the PA that they love to play with the IO, and there would be a Luna, so... It set them up for the Tinker follow-up, since Nyx is one of the really good counter picks, now they have it themselves. And they did ban out 2 classic rox.KIS heroes, Treant Protector and Abaddon, the defensive healing supports that we've talked about rox.KIS loved playing. Whereas, again, I feel like it's fun. These games so far, Alliance are banning against rox.KIS, rox.KIS are banning top-tier heroes. That's basically how the 2 games have been so far. And it hasn't been the same team with first pick both times, so... And they banned top-tier, and this time it's Alliance. There's Shaker, actually.
The Witch Doctor not being picked up by Alliance. What do you think about Witch Doctor against EO and anybody else? Because, I mean, theoretically speaking, the cask is amazing. It's at its best, really, against 2 players, and that's exactly what Wisp Tiny... Obviously, you can go farther with the tether, but still, theoretically speaking, like if you're ganking, they're going to be up close and personal. Perhaps they just blow them up so it doesn't really matter, but keep in mind.
Players playing the IO Tiny combination, then the IO will generally be at a pretty long range. I guess players worth mentioning who are really exceptional at that in the Western scene, I guess KuroKy, EGM, and NoTail are all really good players on that IO end. They know if you're playing against the Witch Doctor, the most important thing is you keep the tether, you have the overcharge for the Tiny, and then in the mid-late game, the spirits are really second priority. It's the tether and overcharge that really matter for you. And against the Witch Doctor, yes, the Witch Doctor cask is really great in some cases, but I feel like it's actually a lot more situational against IO Tiny than Earthshaker is, who can always hit both of them in a fissure. Off their draft getting Venge and Luna.
Aura strats, bro.
And Witch Doctor. Yeah, they have an Aura strat with 2 auras. Don't you think that's like a little... Is that enough to call it an Aura strat?
Get a Helm of the Dominator on Luna, she's gonna get another Aura.
Stun strat, they have Fissure and Impale and Magic Missile.
Missile.
Damage strat, because they picked Tinker.
Damn it, I was gonna say they have an orange strat, but Venge and Luna ruined that for me. Well, Luna's eyes kind of look orangish.
Cover the entire color spectrum, I guess. I mean, that's something. They have from deep red to deep blue.
I can live with that.
Very blue. They actually are running a blue strat so far. And they're... Okay, whatever. They're gonna make it red.
Is that a Warlock mid? Looks like it.
Fuck.
Question is, where does Nyx go? Is Nyx gonna be a core hero in this lineup?
I think he's off lane. And actually, I
lane then.
Trial lane aggressively against, but I think it can backfire really hard. So here's the thing about IO, is in many scenarios, it's not that incredibly strong in the first few levels, because IO's main damage source is spirits, and they don't really hurt that much in level 1. It's mainly level 2, and especially when you get them to level 3, that they start really doing significant damage. If the carry he's with can do a lot on his own, then when he gets enabled together with IO, it's a really strong lane. So if you want to go aggressively up against the lane with IO, Tiny, Witch Doctor, you really need to know what you're bringing. You need to bring a strong lane, else it's not going to work. So the question is for Alliance, if they actually want to try and face that. We're like, okay, we'll let the Tiny farm, we'll let IO get levels, and we'll make sure our Luna gets strong, and then try to peak in the mid game with our support rotation duo, which is really strong at ganking, namely Venge and Shaker. It's hard being Warlock in this mid lane with no escape mechanisms if the Alliance are gonna run their trial lane in the East.
I can't say that I dislike either of them. I really like both lineups. Obviously, the Luna it's a safe pick. I mean, it's actually kind of funny that although we see like a lot of crazy picks, Luna is just consistent throughout both CM and CD. Apparently, she's always available. And you remember when we were talking about how, what was it, Bristle? Was it Bristle and Timbersaw that were? No, it was Clockwork and Timbersaw that were available like every game, and this is probably the first time we've seen Timbersaw in like 2 weeks now. So changing it up a bit. Valve.
Just when you just didn't get picked.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. I would be surprised if we had like 2 weeks without the hero appearing in the pool. I think someone can calculate the chance of that, and it's pretty damn low.
So far, that has not been available to pick.
Unlikely.
It's possible, Synderen. Okay?
Always possible?
Haven't been picked.
Yes.
Which we were hoping would be.
I feel like, let me think. So the hero pool is about 100, right? Qualified guess that we've seen 75 heroes in our tournament. Pretty sure. Heroes
pulled that right out of your anus.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's a guess.
But well, you don't listen to me either. I don't want to hear it, Synderen. All right, you're way worse than me
in this game. Woo! They do occasionally. Cute. The little. So this little fella comes with the ticket. If you guys are like
on his face,
the ticket in the game to watch the games there. But man, that courier is adorable, and we want to contribute to the tournament and the prize pool. Then you get this.
See it roll on the ground.
Alliance, please move your courier.
Hey, I've seen stranger things.
You're not.
Anyway, let's.
The goal.
For one moment, Synderen. Alright, let's go over the lineup. So, rox.KIS side. We have. Okay, I'll do him last because I can never remember. Okay, Yol playing the Wisp. Goblack on the Witch Doctor. Block. Sedoy on the Timbersaw. And I guess that means solo, which I don't know why. I just have so much issue. When they use a different name, I just have a hard time remembering who the heck it is. Playing the Tiny. And this game, I'm hoping to call every player on Alliance at some point Hyper X. That's the goal.
You're off to a good start with 0 out of 5.
Yes.
Tiny here, because he's generally playing the mid role for the team, but there has to be a reason they're doing this. I don't know if Solo is not comfortable on Warlock, or if BCZ is not comfortable on Tiny or whatever, but I love the warding so far that rox.KIS have done. Now, finally, EGM is going to counter this. Why would you deny a sentry ward? But EGM used 2 sentries, so y'all just places a new one. This cannot be pulled, and so Alliance lost 1 observer ward and 2 sentries at the cost of 2 sentries. So denied. The pull is still blocked. So really good start for rox.KIS in this off lane, or in this easy lane, I should say. And it's going to be very hard for Abno Bulldog playing Nyx against this. It's just going to get harassed really hard by Godblack on the Witch Doctor. So we do have Bulldog on the Nyx Assassin in the bot lane. Mid lane will be played by S4 on the Tinker. And then in the top lane, the trial lane of EGM Shaker, Aki, Vengeful Spirit, and Loda on the Luna. So very classic lanes and classic lineup for Alliance. I feel like they actually have really good heroes at turning around relocate. That's my biggest concern for rox.KIS, because they're taking a position in the lanes where they're trading farm on the Tiny for farm on the Luna. So the relocate needs to play a big role. If you look at Alliance's heroes, kind of all of them are really good at turning around. If you relocate gank a Luna, there's Eclipse. If you relocate gank a Nyx, he has Vendetta and Spike Carapace. If you relocate gank a Tinker, he can put a March before you even come in. And then it's very possible to turn around with the support, so... Sadoy, yep.
Double stun. He has his timber chain. Is there a tree to get to? It doesn't look like. Oh, the creep almost gets the kill. The Satyr always very helpful in those situations. Urshiken getting the first blood overall though.
Press enter and look at who received a prize. The first name. You know that.
People? That would be awesome.
5,000 people received a prize for witnessing. So congratulations, 5,000 people and Lunchbox and Whiteheart. So 5,002 people. Big game.
Self. Although the problem is I don't catch any kills, so it's gonna be kind of hard to get one of those prizes. As this is gonna be a chase to the rune. S4 is gonna get beat. Trying to do as much harassment as possible. Well, okay, never mind.
Oh, whoa.
One stun is going to get the kill if he's able to get it up. Oh, actually, not even needed. Laser. So much for that. Of course, no bottle for S4 as of yet, which is now coming in the cuddly curry, which we can now see rolling its beautiful, beautiful nut. I can't help but laugh at that every time. Sadoy getting a little bit of harassment from Earthshaker, but nothing will come of it. Bulldog level 2 versus the Timbersaw level 3. So, despite dying, too, in the top lane.
And Warlock, in that situation, he got killed because S4 had more movement speed than his hero, basically. He has 10 more MS on the Tinker than on the Warlock, and BZZ got into a position where he had to try to run and couldn't really do anything else, and he just ended up taking too much damage at the end from S4, so really good decision making, and the rotation from Ake there was crucial in securing that kill. Even though he didn't really contribute much more than just a wave of terror, just his presence was enough to... As far as the farm goes in the easy lanes, it's completely even. And then in the mid lane, S4, because of that kill and maybe a little bit apart from that, he's doing well for himself in the mid. He's one level ahead, has higher farm, and he has currently got 2 unallocated skill points, which I love to see when players do this. Or me. He probably wants March, but if he can get a kill, maybe by maxing out Missile or 1-point Laser, it can make a difference. I mean, why skill the March if you don't want to use it yet anyway? Might as well hold on to the point.
No pun intended. Witch Doctor's gonna be helping jungle with Yol in the mid lane, as BZZ is forced completely out of mid, as S4 did pick up 2 in March, as we were talking about that, so... Decided against going for the burst damage kill possibilities. Probably the safer choice for sure. Yeah, free still, and gets an impale off, but he can't really do too much here, especially once Gallblack and Yul want to end up ganking him at some point. Escape for him. But Sadoy versus the tri-lane. Almost level 4. And is level 4 now, so as far as levels are concerned, is ahead of Admiral Bulldog, so that's one lane that I guess you can call it that they're winning, kind of. Oh, beautiful fissure mid. Warlock, can he get out? No! He's completely blocked, and one way or another, I would assume he's gonna die. S4, 1 laser, should do the job, almost. God, why do I call it kill so early?
Oh, that was close. He had a haste.
He was gonna die. I told you he was gonna die, Syndrin. I told you.
Prediction skills.
Hit mechanism on Warlock, but the heal is pretty important overall. Sadoy taking some damage at top. Okay, hasn't used his magic missile yet. He's going to use it now. The burst damage coming out. Sadoy has Timber Chain. Is it long enough? Yes, it is! Just barely, but the Lucent Beam, and he wastes a health pot as well, so even more expensive than originally thought. 4-0 in Alliance's favor. So Alliance is just angry about last game. Loda was actually messaging... very surprised that they lost that game and vocal about it. In a nice way, of course.
Explanation, which was something special.
We can't repeat that, though.
No, but...
And Satan.
It's time to worship. It's...
Yeah.
Like, in the last game, Alliance were on the back foot kind of from the start, and this time they have a Midas, Luna at 6 minutes kill, and at the same time they're ahead 4-0 in total across the board. So it's a no-brainer that Alliance are winning this game right now, and it's looking good for them. This can recover, to be honest, because I feel like the one way they can do well still is with the tiny IO relocate, but as I said earlier, it's kind of not the easiest here to strike down the bottom lane. It's actually going to be rox.KIS. Yep, there we go, rotation from Gallblack. Very well done.
Right, this combo it's very snowball in nature, and the fact that EO is halfway to level 5 is very important because a lot of times you see a Wisp get up to an awful start as far as levels are concerned, but he was able to jungle with Goblack. So once he hits level 6, that's when things need to turn around for rox.KIS, because they can't from behind like last game. Although I guess last game was kind of back and forth overall, but in the end they came from behind.
So this game is going to be breaking the base. Alliance has an incredible defensive lineup. Whenever you have Tinker plus someone else with something good, it's hard to push into you. And they have March, they have Fissure, Wave of Terror actually can make a pretty big difference as well with the minus armor to the creep wave and the heroes. And then they even have an X Impale if they need it. So pushing Alliance's base is going to be really difficult for rox.KIS if they reach a point when they actually get the opportunity to go high ground. And if you just look over the lineups again, relying on the initiation from the tiny IO pretty much, they can't really be the follow-up that often, which is something you generally want these heroes to be, that someone else initiates and then tiny IO can come in. They don't have too good initiation. They have the cask, then they need to use Chaotic Offering, or they need to jump in a Timber Saw without any disable. So
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
in playing this tiny IO combination, I feel, than you usually want to be when you draft it in the Captain's Mode game, and we'll see if they can make it work. I mean,
well, it'll open up things for BZZ, which is probably, other than that combo that we're talking about, is probably the most important hero on rox.KIS. That's going to set up their team fights, that's going to deal tons and tons of damage. Right now he can pick up a point booster if he wants to rush into Ags, which it might be the case right now. Can you tell me something? How does Earthshaker have Arcane Boots already?
Has a kill.
One kill.
He has a kill and an assist.
Did he get the first blood?
I think Aki is buying all the support items. 250 gold, then he has an assist, and if he hasn't bought anything else, then yeah, I mean, 9 CS and 9 minutes on the clock. That's a lot of passive gold too.
Oh my god. 8.5 minute boots of travel on S4.
Game we're late, because these are early for mid. They're not amazingly early. 9 minutes is a good timing. It's late in the easy lane, but in the mid lane it's a pretty damn good timing. And yeah, the last game BZZ, Solo got them at 12, I think. So S4 is 3 minutes ahead of the Tinker of last game.
Fast as well, overall. But yeah, you're right. This is pretty damn early. Boots of travel.
So this much into the late game? Okay. They're running a Midas on the Warlock as well.
Oh wow.
So
oh my god.
Kind of surprising. I saw the one on Tiny earlier, which makes a lot of sense because he actually gets it really early and can use it to get up to level 11, 16, which are very useful on the Tiny with the attack speed of Io and the attack speed of the Midas itself. Midas is a lot more than just, you know, the golden experience. Some heroes really don't benefit that much from the attack speed. It's very good on Tiny. Warlock, on the other hand, I mean, how good is the attack speed on him?
Super greedy. He is so really squishy. Good. I mean, he's basically a walking ult at this moment. And maybe a heal if he can get it off in time. Goblack. And Tiny, who's now level 6, are going to relocate in. Onto the Eclipse like you were talking about, but the burst damage should be enough to get the kill, and it is. Aki's going to get a stun off. They better be careful as S4 is here. A nice block off from the Fissure. Here comes Timber Saw, able to Timber Chain in, but actually on the wrong side of the trees. Right into the gullet. Sadoy will fall, so it's ended up being a 3 for 1, I should say. No, I think it's 2 for 1. The stun coming out onto EGM. Yol getting very low, but he's able to kite, and again, actually Echo Slam does go up, but not very much damage. Solo doing so much damage overall. EO is going to live to see another day. There's the Chaotic Offering. Good god, that's a lot of damage. And Dota better be careful, but the creep is unfortunately doesn't have a stun. They just need to add a stun to that creep and they'll be able to get the kill.
And that is that it looked so cool with the relocate that Io and Tiny did was like 1,000 range relocate to the right. And then they killed Loda and they managed to stay alive. I was like, okay, so they're going to relocate back basically on top of S4, and then immediately they toss the IO onto S4 when he comes in and they get the kill. That was very, very well done from rox.KIS. That Alliance let that happen, because they should have... The rox.KIS heroes from bottom lane have basically crossed the entire map. I think they or they had, at the very least, haven't been showing in the bottom lane for like 30 seconds or so. So Alliance, as an experienced team, would know they were coming. And Loda did not get a good initiation there with his ult, I have to say. It didn't really give them enough. And when he's down, and the Tinker comes in a bit late, at that point to make it work.
Is going to be the one to pick up a mech because Gallblack is actually going Ags on Witch Doctor very early. So who picks up the mech in this situation? There's actually something's on the courier.
So he's not going to get it anytime soon.
He has a point booster, so he's going Ag as well. Who in God's name gets a mech on this team? Who can afford it?
Is Witch Doctor not following the trend of Warlock and Tiny and getting a Midas before the point booster? Because, I mean...
Get with the times, bro.
We can go full greed. Let's do it. I think we're gonna see the mech either on the Timber Saw or on the
And a dead Luna again.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And solo. And this is what we're talking about. Absolutely.
Right here.
Absolutely.
Has given them the last 2 fights on a platter, basically.
Dominating. Double kill.
You weren't.
Are you serious? They actually relocate back? They actually went back. I thought they were just going to go back to farm.
On to where Tinker was.
I guess. I figured Tinker would know he was coming.
Wow. Alright.
First kill missed. Let's count the Tinker, guys. Let's count it. Arcane Boots now on Sedoy. After the urn. You don't see that very often. But of course, didn't have a whole lot of farm, so I had to do with what we could. So that, I guess, is a heal of sorts of a Vendetta. BZZ is going to take... Oh, the Impale's actually going to hit Gallblack. Lucent Beam to follow, Fissure to follow. Eclipse actually to follow as well, and again wasted for Loda. They end up getting 1 kill, though. Doctor.
That was such a good sidestep from BZZ to not get hit by the Impale there. At least they get the Witch Doctor, but I think Alliance would have much rather had the Warlock there. I just want to say, I mean...
This just feels like the earliest acts. Jesus.
And Face Boots at 13. He's 100 CS, 4-0-4, and I think maybe he even got the tower kill on the bottom lane. This Tiny is so huge. And the Golden Experience way in rox.KIS' favor, 5,000 on both. And the problem for Alliance is they have 1 Midas on the Luna, and they're playing against Midas Warlock and Midas Tiny, who are going, like we talked about, really greedily building like this. And they're still winning the early game. So if you can go Midas like this and you don't get punished... 5 to 10 minutes when... I mean, I'm saying 5 to 10 minutes, but he got 13-minute Ags, which I still am a little bit in disbelief about. How the hell did he get it that fast?
Luna really paid off, and that team fight at top was huge for them. Absolutely huge. Just, I hear Warlock canceling his ult over and over again, and I think Alliance can see the Ags now, and they're like, holy Jesus, that is an early Ags. You've seen the overcharge go off, and this tier 1 is more than dead, if that's possible. The question is, what does Tiny go for next? Does he go drums, or does he go Yasha, or both? The Ags, like we talked about.
My good god, I think it's... Yeah, it is, right? Yeah, it is. It's a quad camp. And now it's a double camp, and now it's a solo camp. Still a solo camp because he lost overcharge. No, it's gone.
The dead camp.
I think... Oh, he actually already bought the Ogre Club, so I guess he answered our question with that. He's gonna get a BKB, and I think he's gonna get it for the sole reason that Alliance have so incredibly many stuns that it's kind of the only way they can control him. He doesn't mind too much that his attack speed isn't that high, because when you're playing Tiny together with IO, you can go much more greedy on your item build in terms of lack of attack speed, since the IO can give you the attack speed you're lacking. He currently gets 60% attack speed from overcharge, so he can go for a BKB at this point, whereas other Tinies will usually have to go either Kiros or the Yasha, like you said, for attack speed and move speed. That's why this combo is so amazing.
The attack speed, like you talked about earlier.
I mean, if you think of the regular Tiny build where you have like Treads, Drums, and Kiros, he's going to have roughly the same attack speed as that when he's overcharged at this point. Unless my math is terrible, but I think that's pretty close. He's... With a BKB, they have no way of killing him. I mean, just look at Alliance's heroes. There's no way he's going to die. Luna's a spread damage carry. Tinker has March only. and he can't even put more than 2 marches at the moment with his mana pool. Are in such an amazing position.
The initial
in this game
ulti from Earthshaker goes through BKB, but of course the bounces don't, which is really what you worry about when you go against Earthshaker. It's not the initial damage more times than not.
And he has 2,000 health and 7 armor at this point. With the BKB completed, I'm not seeing his death happening. That just means, you see, even actually Sedoy on the Timber side went for Arcane Boots and is now getting a BKB. I feel like the analysis from rox.KIS in this game is, okay, I want to slam the ball.
The Echo Slam to follow, a big mistake for rox.KIS as they lose 3. Witch Doctor throws out a casual cask. Not going to do anything though, and this tower is in all likelihood dead, although 1 TP back to top.
All black.
It's somehow up again. He's only level 9. Maybe it's an Invisor I saw earlier. Either way, that is 4 dead. So, I mean, we were talking about the early game. rox.KIS has potential to throw games. So,
oh boy. Even after that terrible mistake where they lost 4 heroes in a tier 1 tower, they're still way in the lead. It's not the end of the world for them, but boy, that was such a big play from Alliance to get this. To accomplish this right now, when they probably felt like this game was getting out of control, they just made the most important, kind of the biggest play they could make at that point, was to into relocating down there, and then getting all 3 as a combo kill. Then taking a bit of map control, although, actually never mind, Aki doesn't have any wards, so that's what you can always do if you execute a gank like this, is that since you're outnumbering your opponent, you can ward in their jungle and then go back, but they didn't have the wards with them, so they actually don't get map control apart from the tower. A warning, I guess, that Alliance are definitely not out of it yet.
would've... Well, I don't know. He wouldn't have taken any damage from the Eclipse, obviously, but they were still surrounded, you know? So I'm not sure. It would've... Because everybody else would have died for rox.KIS, and it would have been Tiny versus 5, so I think he still would have died regardless, but... Definitely a good choice this game, for sure, and I would assume he's finished... Okay, he did finish it just now, so we'll see how that comes into effect, as almost simultaneously, the BKB is finished on Loda now.
Yeah.
Jesus, you can't use it on Ake. Use that Midas, son.
I'm sure Loda would if he could.
Here, either. Come on now.
It's for the team, and it's reliable gold. Can die for that.
This usage on creep. Of course, Aki doesn't have that kind of an accent because he just doesn't. Thank you. And this is the dead tier 1 again. Of course, Tiny could basically do this solo. I would guess, yes, that was a pun. That was intended, actually. Earthshaker picks up. Tiny, I would assume Manta style would be the best choice here if they want to do some split pushing. The Yasha, I don't think he needs drums anymore with the phase boots.
Warlock level 11 with the axe as well.
Yeah.
Nuts. Both teams get all their stuff off. Seriously.
For HP, does Alliance have the capabilities to defend this properly? There's the initiation. A quadruple into an Echoes! Oh my god! BKB's popped by Tiny, but it's not going to be enough. Only one survives the Doi. Holy ballsack, Batman!
Impale from Blink in that situation. rox.KIS just... Goodness. That was disgusting?
That was disgusting. Oh my god.
I can't believe it. I mean, that was an amazing play by Bulldog, but at the same time, for that to happen, rox.KIS need to... You know, they also had poor positioning. They need to be standing in an arc of some sort instead of in a line like that. And Bulldog just immediately sees the opportunity, gets a quad stun, they get an Echo Slam on all 4 as well, and the fight's just over. So, beautiful initiation coming out of Alliance. And rox.KIS, they're not going to make that mistake again. The question is if they lost their momentum in the game now, and they're like, oh shit, now we're behind. That's
again, as I've been...
Like, the experience,
oh my god, that last fight, holy
They
balls.
lost 20,000 experience over the last 8 minutes.
And then looking at gold, it's about
10.
even now.
I guess it's going to be about 10,000 they lost when the graph updates again.
Start to pay off for Luna, because they're winning these team fights somehow. Thanks to the amazing initiations, and the Blink Daggers have been a huge pickup.
I like this choice from them. I mean, they Oh, they kind of only forced out Echo Slam, so I don't even know if they can get anything much out of this. But they really want to, because they still have Chaotic Offering with level 2 and Ags.
The only reason I didn't say Wisp's a mech carry, because he's picking up a mech very shortly, which is huge on him. I mean, that's like a double heal if used properly. Of course, that's kind of situational, considering you had to be pretty low on HP on Wisp as well, as Tiny. But yeah, this is going to be pretty interesting. So Ake picks up a Medallion of Courage, so they're going to be looking to go for Roche at some point. This game's insane again. rox.KIS, okay, this is one thing that I did mention, and I know you agree with me on this. I mean, rox.KIS, obviously we talked about, they have ability to throw games, they're very unpredictable, but no matter what, in every situation, they are fun to watch. They are really fun to watch.
It's true, it's an explosive team, I guess is a good way of putting it. They really do stuff. Oh, Bulldog is actually gonna...
Oh, he dissipates, or... Yeah, dissipates the smoke and blinks out immediately. They didn't have any dust or anything, I don't think.
No, he didn't. So he's actually completely safe.
Nope,
now,
nothing.
what's going to come next now? Io has the mech in 200, which is a big item against Alliance if you survive to get it off. And BKB is almost up on Sedoy. I feel like rox.KIS have everything it takes to fight. They just need to not get caught out.
Popped on Tiny. EO's almost going to go down immediately. There's the Chaotic Offering. Arca is going to be the first to fall, along with the Witch Doctor. It's used. One kill. There's the Echo Slam. It's actually pretty freaking big. It's a level 2. Tiny getting really low. Tosses the Goblack away from the Impale. That was actually pretty sick. Would have uses his ultimate to really no avail. 2 for 2 exchange at this point. Goblack solo against this.
Okay. Yeah, they didn't have any detection against him.
They still have no. That's because all these supports are going for Aghanim Scepters.
Tinker's coming in. I think Goblack will die here. Where's Sedoy? What does he want? He wants Sedoy.
Oh, he fakes it out, but no, it doesn't even matter. The Rocket's going to get the kill. And there's the combo. Tiny taking a little bit of damage upon himself. S4. It's going to TP out in time. There's the blink. Everybody has like amazing items. This is awesome.
My goal, the experience is still about 10,000 in Alliance's favor, but I feel like that last fight from rox.KIS wasn't even that good anyway. Right now, I think both teams have so sick initiation power and such sick damage output that whoever gets the correct jump can just flat out team wipe the opposition. You just saw this, the fight before from Alliance where rox.KIS just vanished. Initiation wasn't that good, and EGM just did so much work on his Earthshaker in that fight. He was really the reason Alliance did not lose the tier 2 and more there. Who did they actually end up losing? They didn't even lose Loda, right? He got his BKB off and stayed alive through that fight. They lost the...
I think so, yeah.
Maybe the Tinker. No one else. So, really good job by Alliance here, and they're probably going to get the Roshan as well off the Medallion of Courage from Aki and the level 4 Wave of Terror. Roche is on -5 armor when all of that is applied at the same time.
We saw last game how huge of a pickup that was for rox.KIS, so we'll see if S4 can take advantage of that. Of course, BKB, okay, Hyperstone on Tiny, so he's going to go the Assault Curious route, unless he wants to go Mjolnir, which, knowing rox.KIS, you never know in these situations, I suppose. I think Assault Curious is probably the right choice overall. Probably the right. Well, I guess Mjolnir did get a pretty huge buff. It's now an AoE instead of a cone.
In this game, because...
Upon yourself? That's pretty good.
I feel like Mjolnir might be the better choice, and it's because...
As a joke item, but as of the last patch, when they buffed it into an AoE instead of cone, it's pretty legitimate now.
Targets nowadays on these heroes, so... he is going to get the Kiros. I feel like the reason I thought Mjolnir could actually be a pretty good choice is that Alliance's damage is heavily magical. It's still not the physical damage that's killing the Tiny, so he doesn't need the armor right now. Synergizes with the minus armor from the Kiros for his team. It's more about the attack speed for himself, which the Mjolnir will give anyway. So I really think...
Dr. Ult with Aghanims, I mean, that synergizes pretty nicely.
And a level 11 too, soon too. Position. This is where it's interesting for rox.KIS because their front line can force Alliance to respond. the Tiny IO is not a combo you just let stand there and chip away at your tower, because it's kind of not even chipping, you just chomp it down with the Tiny. So you need to go in. If Goblack has good positioning, he has a very good chance of getting a good Death Ward off. Level 1 with Death Ward, it's still... it has 4 bounces on level 1 with Ags, so... but still hits a lot of heroes over the course of a team fight, and they have the tools to keep Alliance in place with the Cask, with the Avalanche, with Chaotic Offering, and the Chakram. So, we're gonna see if Rox are able to put that to use. Oh, DD on Tiny right now. Show him who's boss.
Ugh.
DD on because of his base damage. It's insane on this hero.
Illusions are also... it's probably the best hero to get illusions on, too. Or one of the best when you have Ags. And a Manta on top of that. Army. It's like a Phantom Lancer of Tiny.
They're really strong, too.
Back at the XP graph, it is just plummeting in favor of Alliance. And then the gold dipping a little bit under the even factor. Close to 2,500 in favor of Alliance now, but it's kind of evening out overall. And Assault is officially finished on Tiny. Believe they're going to smoke up here in a second. Goblack officially has the Aghanim Scepter. So we have 3 Ags on
Radiant's bottom tower
XMG.
is under attack.
Just in a moment. Alliance are setting it up. The Tinker is in position here, starting to march out the bottom lane to initiate the push. 4 heroes smoked up behind the Tinker. Oh my goodness, this could go wrong.
You gotta impale before he gets the BKB out. He's almost gonna die. Wisp is trying to get him out. He is gonna get him out in time. BKB popped by Lotus. That's gonna be waste on their end. So beautiful save for rox.KIS. And this is gonna force Alliance back.
Oh, to get that relocate. Tether off.
Illusion.
On Nyx.
Maybe that's why the Tiny went in like that. He knew that Alliance might be there, but he had the confidence that he wouldn't die fast enough, and that he would just get taken out by y'all there with the relocate, which is exactly what happened. So...
Tiny? I don't think so, right? So he has an 8-second BKB, and Loda had to use his 8-second one, so now it's at 7. So that was really nice.
Tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Bulldog.
I'm still, you know, they're 10,000 experience behind, but the gold is pretty even. I don't feel like this is a 10k experience game, just from the composition here. Oh, S4 is in a really peculiar position here. He could have so easily got caught. His exact position there, but it's dangerous.
Yes, both Wisp and Goblack.
First off, because the trees you're hiding in can just disappear suddenly. Just caught it. His tower's gone.
It's trees, none other. Which Shaka get pretty ballsy.
Phobiac.
Dendro? Phobiac? Okay.
Oh, what are you? Oh my goodness, he is way too far ahead. Hopefully that sentry was worth it. That was
2,200 gold to boot. So what is? So with Assault, now do you go Manta? Does it make more sense? I mean, the attack speed isn't more attack speed on Tiny because his damage is out of control. Or does he go just complete damage with like a Daedalus? He's gonna get caught out. He's gonna pop his BKB.
Oh, wow, nice BKB usage.
Hold on to it. There's the swap. He gets the stun off into the toss. Wisp. Oh, he gets sheeped as he's trying to use his ultimate. So he's not gonna be able to save Tiny, who will die. Zero, I should say, where did the third one die? Was that top?
It was just casually on the sideline.
I just forget these things, man. That Witch Doctor.
I feel like Solo was way too confident going up the mid lane like that. And Alliance are going to capitalize on this heavily. Tiny can buy back and buy a TP scroll and come into this fight. I think what they want, they want Alliance to clump up like this. This is a 5-man chaotic offering possibility. Tiny can buy back and TP in. They're still waiting. Maybe they're waiting for IO to be there. If Alliance try again on this wave, I think it's going to backfire really heavily.
Thought it comes to effect last fight. That could be pretty epic if used correctly. Chakram going to clear out the creep wave. That's a beautiful thing about playing a Timber style. You can delay the inevitable or delay the push. And if we're seeing 6 to get Kill Discord can do enough damage. He's going to take a lot of damage from Chakram in the meantime. Sadoy has the BKB, but he will die. The Dagon being used. That is 4 dead. Actually 3 because Tiny is finally coming up. Buyback from Warlock is going to force Alliance back. They lose nothing.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
The whole time, I was just waiting for Warlock to get that really crucial ultimate off. He was chain stunned until he died. The Tinker came in with a Hex, they got a follow-up stun, I think from the Nyx. No, it was actually the Fissure from EGM there, together with the Echo Snap. Just very great decision-making from Alliance here. They realized they could get away with it, and they immediately backed out, instead of trying to greed the racks, which would have definitely backfired there. So...
Daggons.
They have a Dagon 2 and Tinker from no Dagon, and now the Nyx have Dagon 3. So he's pretty much dead on the side of Rox, which means they have to be the ones getting the initiate. To answer your question, Tiny's getting a Chrysalis. I'm not sure if you called that out. So he's going to hit really hard.
Nice.
He has the attack speed for it. Right now, the only problem for him is, will he be allowed to hit the targets? It's... he's gonna kill stuff, I can guarantee that, but Alliance are just kiting them so well, and not really giving any openings in the last 10 minutes. rox.KIS has basically got absolutely nothing. Alliance are
offensively in quite a while.
If they can get away with it. They don't know where Alliance are, they have the better map control at the moment. As bottom lane, they're trying to... Oh my god, the blink from S4. He's actually not going to get spotted out here because the orbs! The spirits are not hitting him. If the spirits would have hit, maybe they could have got a toss.
Good lord, the Chaos Operator is used. Echo Slam apparently was used. 3 dead, just like nothing, in favor of Alliance. Sadoy's going to cut out, Impale, Dagon. Did they just surround the relocate spot?
Where Tiny is.
Come in? No, Tiny, no! He's...
Instant proc on his fraggy exterior there, as S4 blinked in, so he got stunned before the Avalanche even came out. He's gonna get away regardless. He's gonna have to concede the mid-barracks. There's no way they can get those. I think that fight rox.KIS might have actually won if Tiny came back with the relocate, but... from y'all, and that just cost them big time. That's the mid-racks. It might be some damage. Oh, never mind. They have the tier 2s in the other 2 lanes, so Alliance will not be getting more than this, but... as well. And that's theirs to take. They should know it as well. Loda didn't even use the Aegis, I believe, and he has...
No, you're not allowed to pronounce it that way.
Pronounce things the right way.
Even Ice Frog himself doesn't want to pronounce that way, okay? Because he said that.
How'd you know?
But he said it. And Ice Frog has got... No, I swear to God, I am not making that up. I swear to Ice Frog and Gaben and all the gods of Dota. Aegis sounds horrible! Not Cinderin. Not allowed. Oh, God.
Actually, Bulldog is dead right now, so rox.KIS finally got a kill, and they're trying to press their advantage. They have one more sentry from Godblack. It's going to go down on Fissure. It is going to save Aki's life.
Maybe get slowed, but...
Sentries too. I don't think...
Expensive to try to kill a Vengeful Spirit at this point of the game. Although the swap is level 2, so it's quite helpful to say the least. Amalgamation of heroes close to Roshan, who's not quite up as of yet. Daedalus completed on Tiny. Hopefully he makes it to the next fight, because his right click's hurt. They hurt. He's going to get sheep. There's a Dagon. Wisp almost dies right off the bat. He's going to take a Lucid Beam on Eclipse to follow. They're killing Wisp right away. It's probably a good choice, as BZZ will follow suit. That's 2 dead, just like that. Tiny just getting sheep perpetually. Witch Doctor Ultimate's going to get swapped, though. He gets 1 kill out of that. 2-for-1 exchange right now. Tiny has been a sheep this entire fight. S4 wrecking his face. He's going to cock block Godblack now, who gets his stun off. Beam. Swap is not up for another 30. Actually, the stun is amazing. Jesus. Actually, off cooldown.
He has Hex in 10 seconds. He's going to Dagon.
Okay, here's the stun. It's not going to proc more than once, though. And Sadoy trying to help his comrade in arms. He's going to initiate on S4, who now is the one who has to be careful. He's on the defensive. He's going to sheep Sadoy. There's the blink initiate. Actually, Bulldog completely misses his impale, but it doesn't matter because he has Dagon. He can't miss that. Swap on Godblack. Bulldog ready to go. 1 second. Impale is up. Doesn't need to use it. Mana burn is plenty of damage. And meanwhile,
in the Roshan pit, Loda's playing PvE. This game, I feel like rox.KIS had. You know what? This is weird. When rox.KIS are in a good position and have a good start, they just. Na'Vi, they had a game where they were doing so well at one point in the game, and then they just made some crucial mistakes and ended up losing. Then the last game was really even the whole way. rox.KIS just managed to pull off an amazing late game. I don't think they're going to get the opportunity anymore.
like, Tiny just can't do anything.
Try to click up the gold graph and look at the bottom. All the red dots are Alliance doing stuff.
Ugh.
All the green dots are rox.KIS doing stuff. So.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And Witch Doctor killed
Radiant's
Earthshaker.
bottom
The rest
tower
is
has
Alliance
fallen.
destroying barracks, heroes, towers. Yeah.
Doesn't really care what's going on. The Chaotic Offering is going to be used, but again, Aegis on Loda. He's going to take a Witch Doctor, which gets canceled thanks to the Spike Carapace immediately. Tiny's dead. Echo Slam to follow. This is GG.
Over.
Radiant's bottom tower
Yeah.
is
Wow.
There was nothing they could do at that point. Loda could go in the front lines with the Aegis and with his butterfly, and they couldn't bring him down. He immediately panics, gets up to full health. From the back line. Correct me if I'm wrong, Alliance hasn't won. Yeah, Alliance has won one series, 2-0.